Hi guys, what's going on? Zura over here. I've been wanting to share a game with you that I played in last week's title Tuesday against none other than Maxime vachier-lagrave. Maxime is one of the best players of current times at any format, and many would argue probably of all time. So nothing but huge respect to Frenchman, and I was very happy to get a chance to get a game against him. Now, before we see how it went down, I want to let you know I was not streaming on this game, so I was not commentating live. I only have the recording of it on my computer. So I'm going to try to commentate on the game right now live. All right, I'm 4 out of 6 going into the 7th round when I get paired against MVL, aka Lion Beast. Very unprofessional start from me. I think I was away from the computer and I start game 20 minutes down. Let's adjust the board here, and I open with d6. He goes e4, and we get into this French exchange kind of variation. I don't think that's exchange actually. It is Steiner variation. Now, white has an isolated pawn in the center, but play gets very sharp. So as we will see, knight will land on e5, making my f7 pawn quite uncomfortable. Well, I try to set up traditional blockading operations against the isolated pawn, put my knights on d5. You can see white activates all his pieces. I'm not sure if rook e8 here accomplishes much, but I was trying to make moves without falling too much behind on time. Queen f3 here, you can already see that I'm kind of running out of useful moves, and I'm trying to see what to do. I was contemplating of knight c3, but pawn takes c3 corrects the pawns in the center. So I decided to make rook c8, kind of waiting move, but a move that could be useful somewhere in the future. And you can see MVL's pace there. H3 made very fast, waiting for me to think even more. Luckily for me, I had this knight c7 idea. Now, when we play against isolated pawn, trading pieces is definitely in our favor. So I'm trying to trade white squared bishop. However, he goes knight e2. So if I take on b3, then queen b3 will be attacking f7 and b7 pawn at the same time. So I can't quite do that. Instead, I go bishop d5, queen d3. Now what do I do? I think that knight on c7 comes to e6 to stop knight f4. And if bishop c2, I have bishop e4. However, he trades on f6 first, and followed by the queen and bishop battery on the diagonal. I play g6. Computer suggests knight f8 there is probably safer because this opens a bag of worms. However, after king f8, I didn't quite see how white crashes through here. So I thought if things not go well, I might be able to keep things together. This is really a critical moment. After knight c3, I think knight takes d5 and bishop b3 was the threat, but bishop g5 sets a very nice trap. As soon as I saw this move, I was convinced. After knight takes d5, queen takes d5, bishop b3, I have queen takes g2 trick, and after king g2, I can go knight f4 check, forking king and the queen. And if bishop is on b3, then I would just remain a piece up after capturing the queen back on g6. So I was very happy with that line. Now, I think he saw that one as well and goes rook e5 with the idea of rook f5. Computer suggests a brutal knight takes d4, but I think knight g7 is a human approach, knight closer to the king, since my king is quite exposed. I would say after Knight goes g7, c1 rook is also hanging. This f4 move in a blitz could be very tricky, but I think after rook takes e5, this resource of queen b6 check was overlooked by Maxime. And now after queen goes to e3, king can't go to h2 because I take on f4. I can go now queen to e3, attacking the rook on c1 with the check, and I'm also threatening queen takes h3, capturing the pawn with the checkmate. So I think this queen b6, queen e3 was the critical idea in the game. After this, there are simply too many threats. I still managed to almost mess it up, but luckily for me, it ended up well. Bishop e7 attacking the queen. Now, queen have to move away. I take the rook with the check, and we will see here a little bit of a contemplation, which is definitely a waste of time, but I think it's understandable. Queen d2 again. Queen probably takes on b2, makes way more sense here, but I was simply trying to make threats here. Queen h8, so queen d2 is a really bad move. Instead of bishop g4, bishop b3 would be a whole another game. I'm probably still better there, but with 19 seconds, I'm not sure what would happen there at all. Okay, here already I have too much material advantage, and my bishop and knight cover up that queen pretty comfortably. So queen, rook, and the bishop deliver the checkmate. All right, I hope you enjoy the game. This is up to date my highest win in any formats of chess. So cheers to the new achievements. Do let me know what do you think. Peace.